And then we will see what other things that we need to discuss around it. Okay, so I'll just go here. So next, followed by the next Sunday, right? You will have a mock interviews. Okay, we randomly will call you. Our people will call you. Okay, not me, right? Someone else from my network, they will call you and they'll conduct mock interview. Be prepared. Yeah, we have done the opening and closing balance also. One second, let me just go to the selected value, and we have a function called selected value. Okay. Okay, I just show you in the Power BI desktop itself. Look here. So this is the top n and rank x function we discussed. So top n function will return a table, and also you can use a top n function as part of your measure also using calculate function. That is what we discussed. And let me just, yeah, we have something called dynamic top n. So what is dynamic top n? For example, you should, give the flux. You see here in this case, what happened? I have hard coded the value here, right? 3. I mentioned 3 here. So in this case, the report user, when you share the report to the report user or manager or someone who is not a techie guy, so in that case, what he will do, you will see in each category what is the top 3 revenue. Okay, you can see the top 3 profit. You can see that. This one I explained to you in detail. Okay, fine. This is fine. But supposing he wants to see top 5, top 10, top 15, something like that. So will he be able to, he's not a techie guy. So in that case, how will you make this report more dynamic? In this case, what we'll do is we'll create a static table, something like this. Look here, the moment I selected this slicer, you can see something like the top end got, highlighted with the tick mark. We expand this, you can see, the sigma value. We'll go to the table view and see what is there in the top end. Look here, in this case, only 5 values are there, 5, 10, 15. I have created a table called top end, static table. So how to create a static table, I just show you here. Look here, currently we are in the report canvas. Okay, one second, I just clear this. And I'm going to click on the enter data. You have something called enter data here in the home ribbon. And wait for some time. So how to create a static table inside the Power BI, how you can create your own table. By clicking on this one, you can do it. And here, let's I just say 5, 10. I just create a table with these values, okay, and 15 and 20, something like that. And it is a column 1 here. And here you can specify the table name. What I will do is, this is how I created the table, top n, okay. Here I just say the top n, uh, give some, top n you give, and here the column name is, I'm going to change the column name as values. That's all. I created a table by the name of top n2. In this, and I have renamed the column 1 as values. Here I have keyed in these 4 values, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to hit the load button and wait for some time. So that table has only one column called value. Okay, and I'm going to create a slicer now. Okay, let's wait for some time. Still it is loading. If you keep the cursor here, you can see that it's still loading it. Top and to creating connection in model, loading data to model, 4 rows loaded. Okay, detecting relationship. There is no relationship here. You cannot create it. Okay, because there is no common key. But value is there. It should not get confused. Anyhow, let us see what happens. So now I just click on the slicer. This is very important, guys. And once you get a job, they expect you to create something like this. Top N2. This is the one I created, isn't it? I just drag and drop the values here. Can you see that 510 is there? What I do is I just go to the format and settings, slicer settings, options. What I do is I just say vertical list. Okay, vertical list. The slicer type is vertical. This is how I created this one, this slicer. Okay, so I have created a static table by the name of top n. In that, I have renamed the column one as value, and I entered 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 up to this. And then what I did here, I just dragged and dropped the value column from the top end table to this one. Look here, sorry. And then here we can see that, sorry, I don't know why it is not getting. Oh, okay, okay. I did not enable the, this one. Okay. I created a static table. In that we have a column by the name of value. I keyed in these values manually. I just dragged and dropped this column value into the slicer. My slicer as the, column value that I have, brought it from here. Okay. From the top end table. Okay. Can you see that? The top end table, I have dragged and dropped the value into the slicer. Step one. And then what I do here is, and then what I did here, we have something called dynamic top end, okay, revenue. For example, if I click on 5, it gives me top 5 sales in furniture, top 5 sales in office supplies, top 5 sales in technology. If I select top 10, the values increases, right? With that, you can see that. So 87, 1 lakh 8, and here 65, 87, right? So top 15 revenue in each category displays us. Those of you did not attend my previous session, you may not be able to understand this one, but this is the one they will ask you. See, today I will show you my student, he called me simple report, he's struggling like anything. I'll give you that assignment also, give it a try. And he's saying that, Satya, I'm not getting any help in Adidas company and I'm struggling last 3 days, my depression level went high. Such a small issue, I'm not able to fix it. Okay. So don't think, once you get into a job, your life is cool. Okay. That's when the real pain starts. Look here, 5. Here I selected 5. Dynamically, what happens? It display top 5 revenue from each category. Okay. So here, something I did it in the dynamic top 10 revenue measure. Okay, is it measure dynamic top 10 revenue, top n selected value. Here sales W04, sales W descending order. So top n function I used it. Okay, the first argument is number of the top values. Here 5, right? The 5 will get copied here. And then rest of them same. Okay, top 5 with respect to sales value. For that, you compute the total. Top 5 sales value, you take it and then compute that total for each category. Each category, top 5 records, you take it with respect to sales, which means highest, sales. Okay, top 5, descending order I put. Okay. So in that case, highest values, the 5 highest values, you take it and then you total it and put it against each category. And if I click on 10, this 10 will get copied to the selected value. What the hell this selected value is? I have created another measure called selected value. Selected value is a measure in this case. Look here, the name of the measure also I have given it same as the function name. Okay. selected value is the function name. Here, what I did, I have used the static table name top n and value here. So what is happening here is the selected value is kind of a CCTV in your apartment. So whatever the action that you carry out, right? So this one, capture it and then store it in a variable called selected value. So variable in this case, nothing but the measure, okay? For example, if I click on 15, so 15 will get copied here. So the selected value will capture the action, whatever I did it, and then it will store it in a variable called selected value. It's nothing but this selected value. I have used it in another measure called dynamic top 10 revenue. Understood? So the normal function, the calculate top, this is how we were able to achieve the top end. But here I have odd coded the value 3, 5. Don't put the number values explicitly. That is called hard coded value, HARD coded. It is not a best practice. With that, senior people, right? If you are above 4 years, forget about Power BI. Okay, if you are having overall 10 years experience, this is what they expect from you. Best practices, everything. Okay. These I have created a measure called selected value. What I did, I have used a function called selected value. In this, I have given the static table name and then the column name here. Okay, in the static table, what was the column that I used it, right? This column has 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So here what will happen is in the slicer, whenever you select any specific value, that specific value will get copied to selected value. Okay, wait, I just show you here. So, this 15 is captured by this selected value function, and then it will store that 15 into this variable. And then in your other measure, this selected value, I'm using it as an, parameter or argument to your top end. Instead of specifying 5, 10, 15 here, I have, dynamically, I have used this selected value measure, and then I pass this as an argument to your top end function. In that case, whatever the value that is, but supposing you select 20, this 20 will be captured by selected value. Whatever action you do it. What action? If I click on 20, the selected value will understand, oh, this guy selected 20, store the 20 here. Since you are storing the value 20 in this variable or the measure, right? And you are not, using the 5 or 10 directly. Instead, you are storing the value in a measure. That measure you are passing it. This measure in turn will have the value whatever you selected it, dynamically it will pass. This is how you can create the dynamic N or top N reports. This is one of the interview questions, and also one of the projects, right? My students, when he worked, they wanted him to create something like this. Okay. So in this case, what are the steps involved? First, you need to create the static table, step 1, and key in all the values that are required, 5, 10, 15, 20. So in this case, step 1. And step 2, create a slicer. In that slicer, you can use the column that you created as part of the static table. So in this case, top N, the column name was value. I just dropped it here. That's all. And step 2, I created a measure. This is actually step 2. Okay. I have created a measure by the name of selected value. This can be anything. Okay. This can be any name. But for us to understand quickly why we create the measure, I have given the name of the DAX function itself as a measure name. Okay. But the DAX function, there is no space between selected and value. Selected value, inside that, I have given this table and then the column name here. So what will happen is, in this case, whatever the value you selected, that one will get captured by selected value. That value will get stored here. For example, if I click on 5, it'll make out, hey, this guy selected 5 and store it here. So selected value, since the selected value has 5 in it, that 5 will get copied here. So top 5, display top 5 with respect to the sales. You select that and then you do the total on the top 5 sales. That's all, guys. These are the 3 steps you need to remember it. This is how you can implement it. So watch my video and then practice everything, analyze analytical thing. But if I don't do anything, that means, it is not passing, anything here, and it shows nothing. This is how you can make your report more dynamic. Okay. Similarly, you can give it a try with dynamic top 2 ranks or top 3 ranks within each category, right? You can, or country or something, you can give it a try. Okay. And next one is display measures and title dynamically. Whenever you see this term dynamically, that means, right, you can create a static table. Look here, in this case, how do you interpret my report? For example, if I share this report, one second, I just remove this. If I share this report file, you just download it and then open it. And then what you do is click on the, each visual here. Okay. Once you click on it, on the right side extreme corner, you need to click on the cross here. Look here, the corresponding table and column, I used it from this table, measures table. How did I find out? The moment I selected this visual, right side, the relevant table or the measures or whatever may be, right, it gets selected with the tick mark, blue color tick mark, and then if you expand this, you can see column one. There is something called measures table I created, like top end function. I created the measure table or measures table. So here I just keyed in all the values: total sales, percentage of total sales, net profit. That's all. And then I named this as measures table or measures table. Here, what is the name? Measures table. Okay, that's all. And then I just dragged and dropped the column one into this visual. That's all. Okay. So you might be having a confusion, right? So what table, from which table and which column you use this one? Column one is fine, but I have hundreds of tables are there. Which table this column is available? You click on this. Now these visual in this case the visual slicer got highlighted. At the same time, on the right side, if you scroll down, scroll up, you'll see somewhere the tick mark. That means from this table, I have used this column. Okay, this is how you need to understand. Okay, I just unselect this one, and I think I messed up something here. Okay, I just select this one. Display selected measures. Look here. In the x-axis, I put the, okay, I should have select, yeah, it is going there. I'll use the table visual here. And here, the category and display selected measure. Okay, the category comes from which table? Sales W04, and display selected measure is calendar table. Actually, it's a measure. Okay, I will tell you the best practice for that also. Display selected measure. Look here, it got highlighted with tick mark, right? That is the one I used it. Here, what I did, I have used the switch function. Inside the switch function, since we are using the equality operator, like equal sign, right? True function, you need to use it as a first argument, and then select measure one is equivalent to total sales. If the selected measure is total sales, then do sum of sales with the, okay. So before that, we have something called select measure one. I think okay, this is the one, right? I don't, oh, okay. Look here, I have used the chord visual and then select measure here. Okay, select measure. Okay, here what happened? This is the table name, and the table name is measures table and column one. That is the one I used as an argument or inside the selected value function. So whatever the value that I select, that one will be captured here. That one will get stored in a variable called select measure. Okay. And then what I do is I'm going to select the main visual and display selected measure. One second, display selected measure. Here actually it's not a select measure, right? Yeah, select measure. And here also I'm going to say select measure. And then I'm going to apply this. Okay, look here, now it got displayed here. Okay, total sales. Okay, what is the total? Why display percentage total sales? Okay, let me do one thing here. Total sales. Okay, percentage total sales. There is something on display selected measure. Furniture. Okay, the select measure is okay. Let me do one thing. If I select net profit, Let's see what is. Look here. Here also it shows net profit, right? This is for testing purpose. I used it, and total sales. When I select total sales, it displays. But now it is coming out clearly because here the percentage total sales was the column name. It is displaying as it is. And now we will go and check the display selected measure. Okay, display selected measure. See, in this case, what did I do here? I have selected. I just move this down here. Okay, so that you can see it. Listen very carefully. So in this case, the your already I have stored the action whatever I carry out as part of my slicer, right? When I select total sales, that one will get stored in a other measure called select measure. So now this one will have total measure. So total measure equal to total measure, yes, true. And then it does the sum of sales, this measure, okay? So now look here, it gives me everything, okay? And then next one is, if I select, see here, there is nothing called average sales, right? So ideally, I should have mentioned it as something like net profit. So here, what I am going to do is I just use the profit. Yeah, top profit will not come here because you need to use, yeah, I'll use the sum of sales here directly. Okay, again. So what you do is you need to type correctly, okay, net profit. When I click on net profit here, this select measure will have net profit here. So net profit is equivalent to net profit. Got it? Your spelling mistake. Make sure that you are not making spelling mistake. You are not using, upper, lower case. Whatever the case that I used it here, same case you need to use it because it's all case sensitive. And the same, you need to leave the space between net and profit. Okay. So net profit, sum of sales. Okay. Actually, you compute create a measure. Okay. I'll just show you that one also. I'll create a measure by the name of net profit. Look here, still working on it. Wait for some time, because it is parsing this DAX query. It also calls a DAX query. And then look here. And here, for example, if I select net profit, it still displays the same thing. Okay, what I will do is logically, I'm going to create another column called net profit. Okay, instead of that, I just go here and then in the sales W04 table, I just go and check it out. Do we have any net profit here? Simply we can reuse that. And yeah, profit is there. Okay, what I will do is for the time being, I create a new measure. But you cannot use it directly here. Okay, the net profit is the problem. Ideally, we can create some calculated column. Otherwise, it will not work here. Okay, anyhow, I just use the, okay, net profit is equivalent to sum x. I'm going to use its iterative function, sales underscore W04, comma. Here I'm going to use the expression. What is the expression? Here the sales column, sales W04. Here I'm going to select the underscore W04. Okay, here sales underscore W04. What is the sales column? Sales column is missing here. The sales column is there. Minus the same thing. I just put it here into the discount, something like that. Okay, discount is there. Okay. So discounted value minus, let's assume that this is the formula to compute your net profit. Row by row, it has to go and compute net profit. Okay. Now I go to this measure display selected measure. When I explain this, you should be able to understand. That means, you are keeping yourself in sync with whatever the topic that I covered so far. If you're not able to understand, then you're not keeping yourself up to date. That's all. Okay. Net profit. And that's all, guys. Okay. I just press enter. Now, if you see the net profit, it should change. It should not be 45,000. Look at 40,000. Got it? So what the trick we are doing here is the switch function is very much helpful. It's something like if condition. Okay. If this select measure, which I already used it, I create a separate measure called select measure. Select measure is equivalent to selected value function. Inside of this, I have given this table name and column 1. So whatever the value that I selected, that one will get stored in a select measure. For example, if I click on the total sales here, and it go that total sales value is already there here, right? Total sales is equal to total sales. Then it gives you the total sales breakdown by category. When I click on net profit, so it comes and check. This is the select measure as net profit. Net profit is not equal to total sales. So net profit is not equal to total sales. But whereas here, when it comes here, the 1 second. Here, when it comes here, now the select measure, that measure will have this value. Here you have net profit equal to net profit. Hence, the condition is true, and find out the net profit. So that is how it works. So based on the items that you selected in this slicer, it should display the respective measure here. Okay. So net profit, it displays the net profit. The reporting user, if you want to see total sales, it should be. And similarly, the assignment, what you can do is percentage total sales. Okay. Instead of displaying the total sales by category, total net profit by category. So what you do is you find out the percentage of sales out of the total. Okay. So the technology, total sales divided by the overall total sales. Okay, this one divided by this one, this one divided by this one, this one divided by. How can you do that? You can use all function, the filter modification function. With that, you can display these values across the rows. And next one is display selected measure divided by that one. You need to use the divide function to get this one. That, you store it in another measure. So when that one is your total sales, percentage total sales. When you click on this, here what you need to add another condition. Select measure is equivalent to percentage total sales, comma, here you need to use that, percentage total sales measure. That's all. Okay. So what will happen is when you click on this, that instead of displaying the value, display in terms of percentages. That is an assignment. Give it a try. I could see that none of you have given it a try. Don't underestimate